The American people have more faith in the banking system than some of the people sitting in that room.
As Betsy conveyed, we've done a lot about transparency in terms of resolution planning. It's all out there on the website. What we want to think about and what we're starting to work on now is how to improve transparency about our execution plans for Title II resolution. We've been working on these for 10 years now, and we should probably be starting to say more things publicly. So what do we want to think about today is what should we be transparent about now that would help improve confidence in the event that we're called to use our Title II authorities. And we've been thinking about this across, many dimensions. First, we look at who we need to be transparent for. And we have a large number of lists on this slide that you can see. We've done a lot of work with policymakers and regulators around the world, has been said, and a lot of engagement with certain parts of the firm. So the slides on the right, we've probably done more on, but what do we need to be thinking about for the stakeholders, the general public, customers, counterparties, other people like that? We think about what message do these stakeholders need to hear, and it might not all be the same. And then we think about when we need to be transparent. And I know that there's going to be a temptation for people to say, FDIC should just lay it all out there. Say what you're going to do every step along the way. And that pre-commitment will help improve confidence. But we also need to be mindful of the need for FDIC to have operational flexibility to adjust to the specific facts and circumstances on the ground.
It sounds like to me the FDIC is getting ready for something big, and they're worried about the confidence of the American people, or they're about to put something into place that may cause the American people not to then trust the FDIC for fear that something's coming. What's going on here? What are they preparing for?
Sure. Well, they're preparing for the bail-ins instead of the bailouts. After the Dodd-Frank bill passed, that's what the whole Title II is about the taxpayers will no longer be responsible for irresponsible banks. If the bank gets in trouble, again, they're going to lock their doors. They're going to run the numbers, determine how much short they are from being able to cover all the depositors. And whatever that number is, 20%, when the bank doors open and the ATMs come on again, every bank account's missing 20% from their account. So everyone takes the same haircut.
This happened in Cyprus a few years ago.
Yeah.
And Yellen, when she was head of the Treasury or the Federal Reserve, this is what she said, that they're going to have bail-ins, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, and towards the end of that clip is where there's a gentleman that talks right after this, and that's where he's talking about being very careful of what's released to the public because they don't want to freak everybody out. So they're picking and choosing, cherry picking what they want to get out there and let people know, because if people were to watch this segment, they'll see that the priority is not the individual banker. If that bank fails, they're going to blame it on you for doing business with an irresponsible bank. You are not going to be bailed out by the FDIC.
So I know it's not entertaining, folks, but it's vital you understand these people are admitting they're preparing for something and they're trying to keep you in the dark because they're afraid you're going to panic.
And here's the thing, Brandon. Everybody has a bank account.
Yes.
So it affects everybody,
All right, here we go.
So look, we're all creatures of our past. So when we go through all this resolution, even though we may be forgetting 08, it still heavily influences everything that we do, that we think. I think one of the things that we should be really careful about is the next crisis won't be 08. I don't know a lot. I just know that. I know that for sure. So, if I was sitting in your chairs, I would think, what is the seismic or systemic crisis that's not 08? What happens if we get a major cyber event? What happens if we get a major cloud event? We could just go through these. And how do we deal with those events? And 08, whether we like it or not, there was a sign, there was a windup, there was a pitch, there was a swing, there was a ball flying out. There were a lot of balls that went out of the stadium. We sat there and watched them. The next event there may not be there might not be a sign, a wind up a pitch and a ball. It just might happen. And so in many of these things, I think we've got to accelerate our thinking because we live in a highly accelerated world. We also live in binary outcome events, and the event most likely will affect multiple institutions simultaneously.
Wow. Okay. So I have told this audience many, many times that you may wake up one day and find out the whole banking system's collapsing. He just said the same thing, did he not? There may not be a wind-up. There may not be a wind-up and pitch. There may not be signs. It's just going to happen. Boom.
Right. And this is coming from somebody that sits on the FDIC committee.